Hello everybody, Mr. Storm here. Welcome back to Final Fantasy XIV Online. In the last episode, we launched our assault on the Praetorium. We fought our way through the fortress, went into the deepest levels of said fortress, engaged and destroyed the Ultima weapon, and then we also had a battle with Ul'dah. We engaged and defeated Ul'dah. We destroyed the dark crystal that Ul'dah was using to control Thancred, and freed him from the Ascian's influence. So, that's good. And then we got to the ending cutscenes for the primary main storyline as it was originally released with the game when it came out, A Realm Reborn. So we saw the end of the 7th Umbral era, in the beginning of the 7th Astral era, and so we hit the end credits. Because again, that's basically all that was released originally with Final Fantasy XIV 2.0 A Realm Reborn. Additional patches later came out that added more story content that eventually led up to the Heavensward expansion, so that is what we are going to be working on next. But here we are, back in the Waking Sands, because I did not realize after the end of the end credits there was another cutscene. So we're going to have to go back and rewatch that, but we have a little bit to do here, turning in the quest to defeat the Ultima weapon. So here we are, here's all of our buddies, and we're all clapping. Hooray! Alright. Everybody else? Let's head into the solar. And let's have a chat with Minfilia. Alright, the Archons have conducted a preliminary investigation into the origin of the roar that rang out during the celebration. That is something we're going to see here in a moment. Their findings strongly suggest that a new primal has appeared. The roar generated a distinctive wave pattern in the aether, a pattern observed only once before in history, 5 years ago to be precise. I should like to think it a mere coincidence, yet we cannot discount that possibility. Well, I trust I need say no more. A great sacrifice, we have delivered Eorzea from the threat posed by the Empire and the Primals, and thereby secured peace. We cannot well allow the realm to be plunged into chaos once more. You have given your all for our cause, risking life and limb on I know not how many occasions, yet our struggle continues, and we need you now no less than before. Please continue to stand with us, and together we shall safeguard the future of the realm of this very star. Alright, so we got an armor identification key and a Fantasia potion. We unlocked the Warrior of Light achievements. Alright. And what this is a thin rectangular piece of what appears to be Cermet. Placing it near your suit of Magitech armor will magically bring the machine to life. Okay, so we're going to use it. And we now have a Magitech armor mount. Alright, but before we talk to Minfilia, I'm actually going to head back to an inn so we can hopefully watch that cutscene. See what that was all about. So let me just pause it for a second, and I'll get back to an inn room. Okay, so we're in an inn room. Sorry, I've been having some trouble talking today. We can watch any cutscene that we have seen before. A bunch of other stuff that we can do in here. The crystal, you can summon your retainers. The crystal bell allows you to summon the esthetician, which we haven't actually unlocked yet, which allows you to basically change some of your cosmetic features, like change your eye color, change your makeup options, change your hairstyle, change your hair color, stuff like that. Toy chest, I think, is for various items we picked up. We have not unlocked any mini games. The glamour dresser is something new that allows you to just set up like, full glamour sets. Armoire is where you can actually store some gear. I don't know if I actually have anything that... Oh, the fighter's gear. Only items are conditioned at 100% can be stored. Okay, so... Yeah, actually, we can store Helmet Light, Wild Rose Bandana, Wild Rose Cuirass, Wild Rose Arm Guards. A lot of this stuff that I just don't necessarily need at the moment. Yep. If I want to store the rest of that, I'll have to get it repaired. No big deal. So... what we can do is, this is where we can watch cutscenes. So we're going to go to the Unending Journey, we're going to scroll down to the Ultimate Weapon, we're going to swing over to cutscene 4. Now, this is going to start right after we defeated Ultimate Weapon. So we're going to have to skip a few times. So we're going to skip this one. These are the end credits. We're gonna skip this. We're gonna skip this. And we're gonna skip that. And here we are.
What is it?
What was that?
That roar. It can't be.
Did you hear that?
There's no time to spare.
Where is it coming from?
Dread tidings, chaos and carnage! It is an abomination! A primal has awakened!
Bahamul, move.
Bahamut stirs.
One Azaz moves da.
As will the others ere long.
Fanzad lok paiki had Aldorn Zul, Ukdorn.
'Tis not a question of whether Eorzea's champion shall yield, but of when.
We next starve Chemuv. They only cause the post right ball.
And with each passing moment we draw closer to the reckoning.
Alpha
To the one true God. To Zodiark. And thus did dawn break on a realm reborn, in letters too large for you guys to read because it's spread across all three of my monitors. And it says, but where there is light, there is always shadow. Alright, so there we go. Took care of that bit of business. Alright, so we need to head back to the Waking Sands and get the next quest. So I'll pause it and be back in a second. Alright, so we are back in the Solar, in the Waking Sands. Let's talk to Minfilia. She has 2 quests. Recurring problem, what's this? For a re-emerging primal problem. I'm gonna have to see what that is, because there's a lot of optional stuff that becomes available at this point. Which I'm not exactly sure when I want to do all of that. So, I think for now we're just going to proceed through the main story. There's going to become an obvious point where, I think it's going to be obvious, where we're going to just going to be like a point of no return where things are going to move towards Heavensward. That may be where I decide to kind of break off and do a lot of the optional stuff, but we're just going to, as I said, continue on with the main story for now. The price of principles. Alright, Minfilia appears to be lost in thought. Ayame, it pleases me to see you well. Do excuse me for interrupting, Ayame. My lady, the gentleman from Ashgana Exports has just left. I understand now why you didn't want to receive him. You did well, Totaro. Please inform the guards that we will not be receiving any further guests this evening. Thank you, my lady. Ever since we defeated Gaius von Baelsar and destroyed his ultimate weapon, the eyes of the world have followed our every move, scarce remembering to blink. Where once we worked in secret, with precious few friends and all too many enemies, we are now besieged by benefactors, each one more eager than the last to offer us his complete support. A true embarrassment of riches. Of course, every promise of patronage comes with a price. Some make their intentions known from the start, while others endeavor to engage us more subtly. Dress it how they will, the message is ever the same: we shall help you, but only if you help us. The gentleman Totaro spoke of was more brazen than most. In exchange for certain supplies, he would have us resolve a business dispute. Naturally, I refused him, as I have every other merchant of his ilk. Alas, the syndicate's overtures are not so easily rejected. When we formed the Scions of the Seventh Dawn, it was with the goal of serving Eorzea, not the interests of individual Eorzeans. Our neutrality is fundamental to our cause. In my heart, I know this to be true, and yet, if accepting these offers of patronage could empower us to do greater good, might they not warrant greater consideration? Our Baldessian colleagues have been generous beyond measure, but we cannot expect them to. Forgive me, I did not mean to burden you so. Yet my urge to share this dilemma may not be wholly misguided. Why do I impose upon you to consult the others? They are like to have their own opinions on this matter. Okay, actually, let me just check what this is. A recurring problem. Just give me a second. I'll be back in a moment. Okay, it's what I thought it was. It's, unlocking the optional hard mode primal fights. which I'm not entirely sure we're actually going to do. Alright, leave the solar. Because again, it's entirely optional content. It's the same primal fights we've already seen, just with more difficult mechanics. And, I mean, they actually give, like, loot, but we don't actually need that loot because we already have better gear than that stuff can give us, so there's no real point. Alright, Y'shtola. Recall you are meeting with the Admiral shortly after Laminson's set word of the summoning of Titan? Then mayhap you also recall my words to our host. I said unto Merlvib that her people had broken their treaty with the kobolds, and that the beastmen had justly responded. That we had been called to intervene in a conflict which she herself had invited. I spoke, in short, the truth. And wherefore did I speak it? Because, owing no allegiance to Limsa, I felt no compulsion to allow the Laminsons to distort the facts to fit a narrative which justified their actions and absolved them of guilt. Upon this subject, Minfilia can expect a similar reply. Our many dalliances within the city-states have already weakened our claim to neutrality, but the path she contemplates would see us relinquish it entirely. Alright, Thancred. Fortune begets power, and power fortune. That we, and especially you, have power is beyond doubt. The question is, what to do with it? You may be interested to know that there is a growing belief amongst the refugees that Ala Mhigo could be liberated, if only the Scions would commit their strength to the cause. Yet theirs is but one of many causes. We stand at a crossroads, Ayame. Each path is paved with good intentions, but where they lead is far from clear. Alright, Ida. I've been receiving a lot of gifts lately, but Papalymo keeps making me send them back. It wouldn't be so bad, but some of them are really nice. I mean, very nearly abandon your principles nice, you know? Alright, Papalymo. None can deny that we would benefit from more support, but if it comes at the cost of our principles. Neutrality was ever a delicate matter. I've lost count of the times I've had to explain to people that our allegiances need not necessarily lie in the same place as our headquarters. Mind you, if we are to sell our services for Gil, we might as well declare our fealty to Ul'dah now, and have done with it. I'm quite sure Ida would enjoy the bribes. Alright, and Eorzea? I have to read his dialogue. Okay. 'Tis the lot of the powerful to attract the covetous as well as the needy. Thus doth prudence dictate that those with power proffer aid with one hand, whilst the other resteth ever on their hilt. Alas, we have not the luxury of time to decipher our petitioners' machinations, nay, not while the beast tribes do labor unseen, defiant in defeat, to raise up their fallen primals once more. Doubt not that they shall return, stronger and bolder both, nor that we shall be the ones to meet them. The sacred charge shall ever be ours. 'Tis but a pity we are so few, and our fortune so finite. Alright. And I think that the roar that was heard at the celebration is actually related to the binding coil of Bahamut, which is an optional raid dungeon, which I'm not entirely sure we're going to be doing either. So, I'll have to see about that, because that is still some seriously difficult content. Alright, Alphino. The situation is not wholly unexpected. I too have given much thought to our organization's future, though it would seem I have reached a different conclusion. Mayhap it is time I made my feelings known to the antecedent. Come along, Ayame. Alphino, Ayame, is aught amiss? You desired counsel, and so you shall have it. In Filia, the science of the seventh dawn must leave Ul'dah. We must do what? So long as we remain within Ul'dah territory, we will never be free to act with impunity. Moving our headquarters to Vesper Bay only delayed the inevitable. We have demonstrated our capabilities, and the Syndicate has taken note. They will not suffer our organization to remain independent now. We are far too dangerous for that. Surely you realize they are the reason Vesper Bay still lacks an aetheryte. They know full well how beneficial one would be to our cause. Yeah, get me here a lot quicker. Which is why it and other favors will be denied us unless we cooperate. If Ul'dah is no longer suitable, where would you have us go? The experience has taught us that the appearance of neutrality is as important as the reality. Accordingly, we must keep each of the great nations at arm's length and plant our banner in a place which all agree to be beyond their borders. Mordona. Revenant's Toll, to be precise. It lies within neutral territory and offers all the essential facilities we require. By way of an additional benefit, it is also frequented by a veritable legion of adventurers who may serve to supplement our ranks. I am, of course, conscious of the fact that we have developed a certain bond with Ul'dah and her people over the years, but I truly believe this to be the best course of action. As you yourself observed, we have invaluable ties to the local community, forged through years of concerted effort. Ul'dah is our home, Alphino. To cast aside everything we have built and start anew in that desolate wasteland will be beyond reckless. The decision is yours to make, Antecedent. I ask only that you recall the shared purpose which first moved us to found the Science of the Seventh Dawn, and which moved you to found the Path of the 12 ere that. We aspire to an ideal, you and I, just as my grandfather did. That makes us more than mere comrades in arms. We are as much your family as... That would be all, Alphino. I'm sure you have some familial affairs of your own to attend to. Your concern is most generous, but no, I have left them in the hands of men better suited to the task than I. I cannot very well allow my personal affairs to come before the needs of the Order, after all. Alright, we gotta pick something here. Darklight earrings offending. I don't think they're any better than what we currently use, so we're going with the bronze pieces. Bronze pieces? They could have at least given me silver. Alright. Oh yeah, that's right. Back when this was first available, Revenant's Toll was pretty much an aetheryte and nothing else. It's now very built up, and that occurred over time as patches were released. Kind of cool, actually. Minfilia, what do you have for us next? Moving on. Leave Ul'dah. Has it truly come to this? Oh, Ayame. Pray attend to Alphino. He is engaged in some business or other and requires your assistance. Pray be on your way. Alphino waits upon you, and I have much to think about. Oh, and tell him he shall have my answer in due time. Alright, let's go have a chat with Alphino. Confound it. She knows what must be done, and still she hesitates. All because of these fanciful rumors. I should explain. Minfilia's mother, well, adoptive mother, was among the great many who perished during the calamity. How in the world do you pronounce that? Fulhamin was her name, though you may know her better as the Songstress of Ul'dah. She was a performer of singular talent and much beloved by the people of Eorzea, not to mention a certain Charlayan minstrel. As you may imagine, the news of her passing was greeted with shock and disbelief by her adoring followers, many of whom refused to acknowledge what had happened. That her body was never found only served to encourage speculation. Minfilia too struggled at first to accept the truth, but as Fulhamin's absence stretched from months to years, she saw that there could be no other explanation. Until recently, at any rate. For whatever reason, rumors have once again begun to circulate that Fulhamin is alive and well. Fulhamin? Alas, they have served to rekindle an irrational hope in Minfilia, which now clouds her judgment. This talk of Ul'dah as our home, and of the insurmountable difficulties of moving to Mordona, it is no more than an expression of her unwillingness to let go. Nonsense, in a word. But until the tales of Fulhamin's miraculous preservation have been categorically disproved, I fear she will remain lost to reason. That being the case, I propose we set about disproving them post-haste. Let's see how these fanciful claims stand up to investigation. One of the most recent of these latest crop of rumors come to us by way of Father Iliad. Question him for me. I shall look into another alleged sighting and follow anon. You'll notice the name starts with an F apostrophe, which should give a clue as to what race this person is. Alright, so where are we headed? We are headed to the Church of St. Adama Landama. So out to Camp Drybone. Iliad. Yeah, I think that's the right pronunciation. I still contend that when the names in this game were localized into English, no one ever actually attempted to pronounce them. Unless they're actually in a voiced cutscene, then obviously they were. Alright. Iliad? Good evening to you, Yame. Alphino told me to expect you. Now, you are doubtless eager to ask me certain questions, but before you do, I must stress that I myself did not see Fulhamin. Though I very much wish I had, I merely hearkened unto the tale of a mourner who came to stay with us. He is still here. If you wish to hear it for yourself, you'll find him in the Lich Yard, I should think. Alright, Lich Yard. There he is. I saw Fulhamin, just as clearly as I see you now, and yes, I'm sure it was her. Before you ask, I could never forget a woman like that. 'Twas nigh on 7 summers ago I first set eyes on her, and I still remember it as if it were yesterday. I'm happy to report that the years have only made her more beautiful. Where did I... Oh, Costa del Sol. She was giving lessons to Gigaruju's women, and her voice, gods, her voice, that soft tinkling of bells resonated in my very soul. I dare not say how her songs touched me. Okay. Do I believe the man's tale? Well, I believe that he believes it, though I do wonder. I doubt I would recognize someone I barely knew whom I hadn't seen in 7 years. But if there is even the slightest possibility that Fulhamen yet lives, do we not owe it to Minfilia to pursue it? Alright, I don't really need any of this. We'll take the bronze pieces. Alright, flowers for 1. Next. He wishes to have a few words before we depart. If this woman resembling Fulhamen was employed at Costa del Sol, then that is where you should go. I will inform Alphino of these latest developments. You need only concern yourself with the search. Master Gigaruju should remember you from your past engagements, so I suggest you waste no time and approach him directly. Alright, Costa del Sol it is. Alright, let's go see Gigaruju. Let's see what he has to say. I think it might be time for a new armor set. Alright, Gigaruju. Oh, sweet siren of the sands, my Makote muse, why have you forsaken me? Titan's Bane! I mean Ayame, what brings you to my humble resort? Fulhamen? You mean to tell me the goddess made flesh who dwelt among us until so very recently was the Songstress of Ul'dah? Egads, woman, if I had known that, I would have chained her to my bedpost and never let her leave. Really? An exaggeration for dramatic effect. As to her current whereabouts, I recall she mentioned Wineport. But there is no need to pursue her, my friend. When she tires of her rough way of living, she will make straight for Costa del Sol and fling herself into my waiting arms, flushed and breathless. Yes. Keep thinking that. Alright, question the residents of Wineport. So let's head over to Wineport. Alright. Beerglint, I remember you. Well, if it isn't Ayame, the savior of Wineport, to what do we owe the pleasure? Ah, yes. We did receive a customer matching that description. She was a delight to behold, to give the woman her due, but her perfume was so ghastly, I had no choice but to eject her from the premises, interfering with tastings, you understand. If she is your quarry, why not consult your blind associate? His olfactory perception is without peer. Given that I could smell the woman from a mile away, I dare say he could smell her from 10. Okay, let's just check and make sure there wasn't anything else there. Question the residents of Wineport 2. Oh. Alright. Jungbar. Eh? Want to know if I've seen a Makote lass by the name of Fulhamen? I wish. I haven't seen a lass of any description for far too bloody long. Excepting yourself, of course. Alright, let's go have a chat with Shamani Lomani. Yes. I see you have had many grand adventures since last we spoke, Ayame. You must share them with me sometime. The girl from a little while ago, one does not forget a perfume like that, so robust and intoxicating, yet simultaneously familiar, reminiscent of a bloom native to these parts, in fact. I said as much when we spoke. She complimented my powers of observation and asked me where she might find some of the flowers. So I told her to follow the road south into Raincatcher Gully and then head east after crossing the second bridge. The flowers which grow in the shade of the cliff have the strongest scent, you see. If you make haste, you may yet find her there. Alright, well, let's make haste. So where exactly are we headed? Alright, so crossing the second bridge over here. Oh, actually, why don't we, now that we have it, give me a second, mount guide, let's grab our Magitech armor, put that out on one of my bars over here. This bridge doesn't look like it could support this vehicle. Alright. This would be our quarry, and there's one of these purple circles, which means we're about to get into a fight. Alright, let's get my chocobo out. And let's get to work. It's a Goobu. And it's dead. Ah. Ul'dah. Let's see. I am in your debt, stranger. I did not realize my activity had aroused the Goobu's ire until it was too late. Their oils can be used to make a perfume, you see, and I... Ul'dah, I don't... Who are you? Whom do you serve? Typical. Of all the many leads, yours obviously had to be the one which bore fruit. I don't know why I bother. Well, of course, I'm the main character. The Songstress of Ul'dah, I presume. Minfilia, or should I say Asilia, is looking for you. Asilia? You are the very picture of health, milady, yet the world thinks you are dead. I can only conclude that this was by design. The question is, why? Not everyone who endeavors to find me does so with the best intentions, child. You'll be pleased to know that I fully intend to reveal myself to Minfilia when the time is right. Oh, well, that does please me, more than you know. But tell me, sojourns in the forests of La Noscea aside, when exactly will the time be right? When I deem it so. Do you imagine I traveled all this way on a whim? As I was telling your associate prior to your intrusion, I came here to harvest these flowers for use in a perfume. Does that satisfy your curiosity, or would you interrogate me further? My apologies for the interruption. Anyway, now that we all have that which we came for, might we continue this conversation in a safer locale? Wineport, say? Then it's settled. To Wineport, Ayame. Alright, so back to Wineport. Oh! Quickest way is to just teleport. So I'll probably just end up turning this in and then calling it a day. So Alright, Alphino. This is not at all how I envisioned it. Having been appraised of our situation, Lady Fulhamen has consented to plead our case to Minfilia regarding the proposed move to Mordona. However, she will only do so once her perfume is complete. Moreover, she insists that we aid her in obtaining the final ingredient. She will not be swayed. I assure you, I tried. Let's just get this over with, shall we? Of course. Alright, so, as I said, we're going to go ahead, we're going to call it a day here. We'll do Fulhamen's quest when we come back, and then proceed on. So, hope you guys enjoyed it. Thanks for watching. Go ahead, like, subscribe, and comment, and I will see you next time.